You ready for this? I should unpause recording too. Otherwise, I'm not going to get everything that I should, right? In any case, let's bring everything in that should be. How you doing, Internet? I'm B-Nuts. Welcome back to the build stream of this, the Master Grade 1/100 scale Kyrios Gundam from Mobile Suit Gundam 00. And today, we will be doing the legs. I'm hoping also to do the weapons, meaning that we can finish this and then review it at the end. I do believe that this is part 3, although I could have mislabeled it too. Part 4. Well, if I did mislabel it, I will label it properly later on. But in any case, here we go. So far, we have the head, torso, and waist, and some shoes, but nothing to put them on. And some hip joints. And I did put it kind of in its flying mode, just to see how it would look. And without it, even without the legs, kind of looks cool. Although I didn't exactly put the arms into the position it's supposed to be, but you can kind of see that it's already starting to take shape here in the way that it can. Although, as with many gunpla or mobile suits, even at large, with a transforming mode, flip it onto its back and it suddenly doesn't look quite so cool. But usually it would be displayed from the side or the front or the top anyway. And the part that I find most funny, well, there are two parts I find funny about this flight mode. The GN drive is right there on the back, and yet it would be propelling this way. And the other part is the flight mode canopy being kind of indicating that size, including for the pilot, and yet we know from the cockpit what the true scale is, because that is a pretty small pilot figure. Also, I guess the other thing that I could address before we continue onward is the 2.0 update for Genshin Impact. The pre-install was available starting yesterday, so that's parts that players can do now. And then, of course, it will install probably tonight, our time, and tomorrow morning in China because of the difference in the time zones. So maybe starting tonight, some people will play it. I know that Tectone is always ready to jump in, and he streams as a living anyway, so he doesn't have to worry about much else as far as getting money. But afterwards, well, that's when the temptation starts. Because Ayaka's banner will be available probably starting right away after the update. And those who have decided not to spend on the game will need to have the willpower to stick to their guns. And those who do, you have my respect. So let's get down to business. And it is leg day for the Kyrios. The reason why I say legs for days in the stream title is because, well, according to Mecha Guy Kotsu's review, when he put it next to the Dynamis, this one was the one that ended up being taller. So let's start. We start over here. According to what I see here. It's showing there. So we're starting with F and H parts. And just like when I started the stream yesterday, because it worked out so well, at least to start, I put the runners that I needed. Well, I did put them back in the box to clean up my desk first. But having taken them out again now, I'll cut those off later. I put them in the order that I needed again, so that I could continue onward with the build. I see. So most of this is going to be frame, of course, because we're building up the leg, and then the armor will start again over here. Hopefully I won't have issues with the legs the way that I had for other parts yesterday, because that was disappointing. Usually the quality of Bandai's kits are very, very good. So the fact that that much escaped their QC is pretty disappointing. Oh, there it is. I had a feeling that it had to be used somewhere. It was just further up. That one gets to use there. And that will be it for H2. Although, when it comes to H1, oh, it's the only other piece the pilot figure, the standing one. That's the case, I can just cut it off of the runner and set it aside and toss the runner itself right onto my bed. These are otherwise the same. I think they are identical. Yeah. The 2 and the 3, they seem to be identical. Well, it says 2 closest to it. So I'm going to set the 2 on this side, and then the 3 on the other, and see if that works. I think if they peg not onto each other, but onto the leg frame, then it should be just fine. Oh wait, there's also the blade. No, I can still cut that off. Anyway, it's a shame it's entirely white. I could paint it if I wanted. I think that's it for this runner. Which means that this goes bye-bye. Now I need the F's, which I think I put over here. I can cut off the nubs first before I go to do that. And we'll see exactly what that's diagramming shortly. I need F14 from both. Going to be a long stick. I don't like that angle for cutting it. I might hit the wrong part. Yeah, of course it's only going to fit one angle because of the way it would go into the wing. I think that's all that it's showing, but it wants you to be sure of that. Me? I didn't want to start off using the music from this source. I didn't think that would be a good idea, relatively speaking. Well, instead, I started off with a different track. Fix right. And let's let that be. For now, I'll do that part later on. Other F. Maybe I didn't change the number. Extreme. I still can change it later. Use most of the frame as well. Did I put it entirely into the box? I should have leaned it across it instead. There we go. Alright. I can put these parts in here. It doesn't indicate order at all. I'll just try to slip it in. And it just grips it. Although, if you were to push, of course, it would probably slide out. A little bit of gap up top. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Did I chop off a bit too much on that one? Maybe I took off a bit too much on that one. First, the wing goes into this part. And it's going to be slightly back. The point of having that when it's going to be probably in there, huh? Oh well. And then if 2 goes on to so that'll kind of hold it in while also allowing that part to show through. Engineering here is definitely interesting. And now we have C parts and an incoming holographic part. Ready for this? He was here. '21 and '22. Again, all these are symmetrical so far. Which also, by the way, means that until we get to the ports for mounting stuff on, either leg can be used on either side. B12 and C. For a second, I thought I had 2 C12s on the same runner. That is not the case. And then C19 for that side. Which the holographic part is going into. I think you can see that page better than I can. Still in a symmetrical operation. Beam. You see there? No. Other one. Pull this apart. Along there. Kind of hard sometimes to grip the part on the tree, but it's always smarter to do it like that as part of your setup. That way you can try and get the part before it falls off the tree. Put it where you want it. Okay, and let's put all that together. Wing first has to go onto here. All the way in. And I'm going to get the holographic part. One at a time, though. I'm really not sure if there's an actual front or back to this. And I'm not sure if it really matters. This is the side that the letters have up, so I'm going to assume that that's front. Now it's sideways. Oops. I need a bit more. all the way in. I like it when that sort of thing happens. Okay, let's do the other side. You want to go in straight. This doesn't... Oh, it does turn. Oh wait, that's the one that I already put in. Hey me. Of course it wouldn't go in. Oops, that hole. Here we go. We need this. Okay. That should have gone on, right? Why did I not put it on? That's rather silly of me. Here I am trying not to make any more mistakes, and I'm making some of the biggest ones I possibly can. And get that apart. Kind of. There we go. Okay, let's put back on. Make sure it's the correct direction as well. Well, screwdriver does make an effective part separator. The only thing is that it can damage the plastic. Fortunately, that's going to go under and cover it up. I need plastic. I'm going to keep the rest of this because it's such a cool effect. Just like I did with the Dynamis. I'll figure it out if I can use it somewhere else. Although that'll also depend on whether or not I can find something I can stick it. Now, do I need to use my file again? Put this on straight, probably. I gotta say, that's a lot faster. than just using my hands. Sadly, that is how clumsy I am. Slight mark there from that anyway. So it's not like I marched that up particularly, and it'll be covered anyway, like I said before. Let's see what this says. Symmetrical side to side. According to that, notches should be on the side. Just in case it does matter. That was another. There. And before we close this part up, which side goes where? Side? And it says to slide it. Wait. Go this way? This side goes down. Does it turn? It seems to indicate like this, right? But in the next part, it says to flip it up. It doesn't flip all the way. This is the way it goes. I think that doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to be like this at the end. It goes like this and then like this, but it doesn't go all the way up. Pretty sure it's supposed to go where though? What's that part all about? This thing. Maybe it's supposed to be like this. And then it doesn't connect itself to anything. Let's see if that works though. And let's see. This looks okay. Let's just go like that. I'm sure other pieces will lock it into place, or because of the way the grooves at the bottom are, maybe that's supposed to. There's that little thing there. Ah, there we go. If only it would have stayed. I'm sure it's supposed to center too. Why does it keep on falling out? Oh wait, I'm supposed to put one of these on first. That goes on. This goes on, and then that flips up. And then this goes on. That. Hopefully that is correct. And let's see if I can kind of do the same here. I mean, I have the trouble seeing whether or not that's right. Also, partly because it doesn't really make all that much sense. Do it like this. But that is the way that it wants us to do it. Not the way it is. This side isn't closing all the way. There's something not in. That's why it's stressing this. This isn't stressed that way. I see a lot. Something is not in. I'm having trouble getting underneath it. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get it off of the polycap though. Try rotating it out of the way first. This knee part definitely supposed to bend. Yeah, that one works. But it doesn't go in all the ways. I don't know why this wasn't closing. And is it going to close since it's not even? Huh. Did close. I don't know what issue it had. Currently resolved. Nope. Oh, now we need E parts to finish that up. And 9. And do keep in mind that the method of problem solving I was using does run a risk of breakage parts, and I did break at least one part trying to pull it back off. It's not recommend unless you can't avoid. And there. Oh, there we go. It was not completely aligned. Was the issue. That looks pretty good. But there's still more that needs to go onto the legs. Starting with these pieces. We're going to see how these go on. Supposed to go on here. It was not quite. And it's simpler than I thought. It's good. Simple is definitely nice. And it's part of the floating knee armor. And the parts themselves weren't actually symmetrical. They just kind of felt like they were. And there's only one part where they peg into each other. Otherwise, they pegged into armor part in the middle. Alright, now we get into asymmetrical stuff. I could right now take one of these and put it on. And shall take both. That way they're no longer floating alone. Here, we have more symmetrical parts here, and then it starts there with the asymmetry. Alright, looks like we're looking at verniers. I put my F parts over here. Five. And other F parts. F1. And that's it for F. Okay. Oh, right from that 4. Little bit of space exploration music, all too appropriate to building a vehicle that could be used for space exploration itself, although it is a fighter. Which leaves only F20 remaining on this runner. Interesting. Now I go to A, and I guess we've got some verniers here. Let's see. A10 is the rings, I think. And the verniers are there. You can get some of them with the gold before I put that on. Not even the first gold, I think it's the second one. Does look like I used it. Not coming out great anymore. Oh, that's a bit much. Looks brown. Get closer to the gate. There are some other places I would have liked to put gold, like on the fence. Not sure I can now. A bit. Mess there, but I cut out circular parts. And actually, I could do both. Need any other A part? The question that perhaps I should ask. It's just in A8 will go on there. Maybe I should put some gold there too. In this sense, these will be the parts that will be most visible. And that'll just give it a bit more depth. Grab my first tweezers. Get that away. Make sure that it's still 8. Not that I don't enjoy getting paint on my hands on occasion, but I prefer not to when I can avoid it. Down there. Not a lot of A parts here, but not a lot of A parts left anyway. Basically know where they'll go. Need both of these. This part at least is still symmetrical. It would be bad if it was still wet enough to mark up. there. There's a little lip underneath. Does that go to the bottom? I guess that's the way it goes. Be careful not to insert it at the top. Not sure exactly what it means, but, well, whoops. Getting paint all over. This is what I don't like here. Doesn't even dry quite so fast. Probably this is the one that I smudged all over. Oh yeah, the underside is hollow. He's supposed to go that. Thing down. I inserted it first like that. Oops. And that goes in anyway. Doesn't look like it's supposed to rest on top of it either. I don't think that it could have been pulled out. Okay. Because it comes through there. It actually comes through the front. And I guess the mechanism that allows you to extend the vernier is there. And then you would push it back afterward. So I'm still not sure it's dry, so I'm not gonna push it back yet. And we'll put one of those to the side for now. And it looks like I need J parts and G parts. And we'll put that over here for now. And get parts. As long as I'm not still smudgy. It would be kind of bad to put gold where I didn't need any. So there are more pegs on this side. There's G7 here. Is the outer side of the, meaning that nothing else will go on top of that. And then I need J. Oh. Right, because the J's, even though they're separate, the numbers bleed into each other. Pretty sure these low numbers will come from 1. We'll go underside of that. Or 8, 7. Let's make 2 slips. It's such a large piece and pretty dark. I'm pretty sure I don't want to mark it up. And we'll go in, so it won't matter. These ones are small, but why take any chances? And by ones, I was referring to the gates. But rather than having big nub marks anywhere, I prefer avoid them. I don't know what that was. It probably wasn't even attached there. This supposed to go into here. Oops. I have a feeling I didn't have it quite right. There we go. That doesn't show on the outside at all. As opposed to this, I kind of have to push in. And take off some of the paint. I just wanted it highlighted from a certain angle, not all of it. Goes on each side. Yes. This will be the side that the thruster goes on. The big one for the side. Speaking of which, let's put it together. Put this on first, and then I'll put the fin on. It will no doubt be more fragile. And that should be more in order to go in properly. There's a lot of other parts putting together. And this will go up here. Just like that. I need to move off of here. Just push all of the nubs up. And I can collect them all very simply later on. This way. The way this mounts, it's not going to be able to turn, but it should be on very solidly. Assuming I can line it up properly, that is. Oh. And put you on. Maybe I should push from further up. Give me more stability. And all the way in. Okay. And that is one completed leg. And here and here. This doesn't go anywhere. On this one anyway. Isn't it supposed to bend back though? Maybe I didn't do it right. What about this? Does it not pop up or anything? What was the point of all that? I thought the wing was supposed to move. Well, let's get to work on this leg. Better to have it in a place where I won't knock it. I need GN. The leg that I completed there. He is done. So most of these are extra part then from D. These were on Dynamis. J again. Three. Further up. Oh, there was one on that side. Oh yeah. That's as close to it as I could get there. I also need J7. Or J37. J3, if I'm looking here. Yeah, it does have the wing on it. Other things. And I need a part. Be completely dry by now. It wants this thing to go in first. You must question what is the point of this part. It goes in the back and it doesn't actually show. Does it up grip something? That's not the way. Almost. Not supposed to go that far. And this one isn't in all the way either. Here we go. Why does that go in the front of the leg and not the back? Looks like it should be a bent. But it's not going to fit on the other side. So it has to go there. Maybe it's a maneuvering thruster. should be dry. Goes on this side. It slide down when I and like I think the wing is supposed to come down for the transformation. Not really sure how yet. But before that, we get to put the legs on. Good. Need to transform it back. Although, as far as transformation goes, I didn't really do all that much to it, as you can see. It says hold here and insert. What does it want to do here? It wants to make sure that this is down. And it already kind of was. Because the foot can go down like this for the transformation. I guess it wants to make sure that it's in mobile suit. Let's get front skirts kind of out of the way. Hold it on the outside and that really is a tall boy. Okay, next comes the weapon. And I did want to get through this before ending. Look at how close it comes just standing up. Close it comes to the camera. I've gotten him to stand yet. There we go. Now I can stand him to the side so I don't knock him. And I need A, B, E, F, H1, I1, I2, J1, J3, K1, K2, and the stickers. Well, actually, what else could it possibly mean but that I need every remaining part? Use F. I just need to take them out first. Are some from A that I need as well as that. Of course, the K's. For these ones again. This is B. I do need that. And this is E. Also need that. E over there. E. And put the F back on the side there. Large. And I will try to remember that they are over. And the only runners that aren't listed that I haven't completely exhausted is D. Because apparently I don't need that parts of the Dynamis leg or the back of the hands. Alright. Weapon build starts over here. And I should take a drink. Remember to stay hydrated. And we'll start over with the Ks. Is someone calling now? Did I hear something else? Can't actually see my phone. If it's important, they'll leave a message. I'm busy right now. That's why I have my ringer off, but I heard it ringing in a different room. Or for grip. It kind of looks like an entirely different piece, but maybe it's just the way that it's drawn. 5. 1. You may as well cut out all the parts. It is it's just a barrel. That's definitely not what is meant. I'll find it on the other runner, I'm sure. Let's see, the G3. Yeah, it's this one. Where else does that appear, though? Oh, that's a K, that's why. But do I not have all the K this too? That doesn't have it. It's supposed to be 2. And the grips will have to be able to, the backs will have to come out easily in order to put the hands in. Pretty sure. Now that the grip's done, so now only have to build one of these. A14. Let's put all the J runners on this side. Make it a bit easier to track. Wait, there were parts I wasn't supposed to cut there. Okay, they're still there. A12. Always look to see what the instructions are indicating. And oh, that was a K. 7. If I'm cutting everything out from this. Space for the page. It is a large gate. Right from the other side. Retix for both sides. Three, 9, and 10. For the it's the missile unit. I thought for a second it might be for part of the shield, but that makes more sense. Shield isn't that big. Where does this get? Does it get used in this part at all? No. It's the bracer. Another handle, I'll put it over there. And that does J1. I should grab A7. Side going here? The side sticker? I would think so, but it doesn't indicate that it goes there. Wait, it does. It just indicates to put it on here instead of here. I'm just silly. Maybe less angles to put it on. Ready there. Let's see. Since it still goes on, I'm pretty sure that's the part it goes on to. Theoretically, doesn't matter if I put it on now or later. I can get in here a bit better right now. And that'll look awesome when it's mounted. But as for that, I can't actually mount it until I cut down out the K. It's supposed to snap in. There we go. Well, I need K and K1. Okay. I'll start there. Need that anymore. 11. And go on that side. In point in fact, the Celestial being mobile suits have a lot of. Guess I didn't need to really turn that part. I have a lot of weaknesses in Season 1. And they were most likely supposed to be exploited. Wait, did I cut out 9 already? Here? I thought I was in the process. I didn't. Or I didn't do it at all. And Kyrios, while fast, has a harder time transforming. Arios does, it seems. Maybe that requires both of the nozzles, doesn't it? I guess it's got 2 on it. Aren't exactly the same parts, are they? Hello, Daniel Mark Kirby. Welcome to the stream. I am currently building the Kyrios Master Grade. And I am up to the weapons. 7 and 8. I can finish off this runner now. I'll put that there. I can tell which one is supposed to go where, and hope that I don't knock them. Like I almost did there. That's K1 done. Bye-bye. So, this is Kyrios, as it is currently. See if I can get some light onto those. I kind of got it onto the holographic part. Oops. And that's going to happen a lot with the skirts, because they have tiny little ball joints. They're never really all that stable. But this is the way that it looks. The body itself right now is complete. Now let's get back to the weapons. It's quite big. Oh. And I can continue building on this. Goes into back here. It looks right. So it pops down and up. Interesting that they went to such lengths just for that gimmick. Let's go here. Oops. The sight popped back out. Guess I should have realized it's not really that stable in there. Now, let's see. This part. Not good. In here. Needs to go somewhere in the back. Is that what it's indicating or no? Not really settling in. It is the correct orientation for it, but not sitting, so it must go somewhere else. Ah. Much closer to the bottom, actually. It's interesting. Close that off. I hope I don't have to take it open again. If I do, that's going to bend and press a lot of plastic. This goes on here. These slightly different shaders of the same shade. And the grooves should go to the front. And I need the other K5 for that. Yeah. Okay. That needs to build twice, but rather than starting to get that one, I think I should put all those together, especially since I have two pieces down here that are nearly identical. use kind of like a revolver barrel. They're two different pieces. I need another J. Not this one, apparently. One at the bottom. I can cut these out without mixing them up with anything else. They're small enough. Other grip mounting, and then I can get rid of that and put this on. And that's pretty much complete. Where is part 2? This sets it up. Or is it already down? It's hard to tell. Seems to be down. If I press this, it should pop up. Doesn't seem to be working. Let's try. Well, I pulled it up myself. Pop it down. That gimmick's not really working all that well. But I can put the handle on. Probably upside down. It should go this way. I think. Why isn't it working? Ah, there we go. That's the way it holds on. Why doesn't this part work? It pop up on its own. I really don't want to open it up to try to fix it. Kind of like down. But it doesn't do it all the way. Maybe it's not. It's a minor thing, but it's supposed to work better than even open this back up. Yeah. Too risky. Let's go on to this. So first, here. This. This side to pegs. Are these different? They look exactly the same. And they both go on okay. First... Huh. To get it facing exactly the right way. I'm trying. Yeah. Makes it look like it has additional hatches. However, these missile launchers don't actually do anything. Open. The way Dynamus's stuff has hatches to open. Not even on properly. But this one. It's frictioned in so much that it feels like it's in, and it's not. Not even that one is in. I'm tempted to leave it like that so that I have hatches, even though they're not intended to be working hatches. Get them straight. Great. Not that anyone's going to be looking that closely at it. And then the handles. Yes. If you use the handles, but you don't need to. Like that. Let's get the other ones. Now that those pieces are secured, I can get these ones. They look almost exactly alike, but on the inside they are different. Right. This. It wants to line up properly. Oh. This. Side with the tilted should go this way. Maybe I put it on the wrong side. Oh, I doubt it really matters that much. And for this one is supposed to be on this side. Definitely fits different. I must have put it on backwards. But makes so little difference. Well, one way it makes little difference, the other it definitely fits more tightly. But those aren't going to go anywhere either. I don't know. Let's see. These and a little bit of that. Let's get E first. I think actually I put it on the box. Is E, right? I need 11. Only one of them? Yes, for now. When I turn the page, it's going to show me something else. Come on. Separating this in. Or F20 rather, not 12. I didn't have any of those left. And that is the last FP. And I need a whole bunch of IPs. One. I think there's 3. 4 and 6. And that's just a start. Here's 4. We get to build shield and part of it in such a way that you get to know exactly what the nasty bits of it are. Because, in series at least, the way it was revealed was pretty epic and nasty at the same time. At the same time, we know afterwards that it's one of the parts that was carried into the Arios, just not as a shield. And let's see. This way. And this should also be that way, so I didn't really have to turn them. Here we go. It's not in all the way. And I've got to take off the nubs here too. Nope. Bit higher up. Unless it just goes in like that, but see that happening. There we go. That part doesn't bend. And push those off. You can kind of see how long those parts are. F again. E to make the exact same thing. E12. This time it has a slot instead of a peg. All these other frame parts should be used as well in the shield. Otherwise, there'd be no reason for them to be here. It goes in there. I thought it was a stand adapter. Put these two together because they're such small parts. It doesn't make sense to keep them apart. 15. Do not want to lose this guy. In up here. And then slide down. And a line down there. And I think that might finish off this runner. As well, most of the rest of the instructions after that point here are about switching the weapons and using the different gimmicks, and which, while interesting, have nothing to do with the instructions themselves. I again. It looks like I2 rather than I1. Okay, that off there makes that much. I nipped it out first. That one. There's the last eye, which 7 involved somewhere here. Last bits of construction apart from the hands means that this should finish off pretty much all of the runners. Apart from extra parts or things that I elected not to use. For one reason or another, it includes some spare plastic parts from runner A. These two are exactly the same part, or at least they should be. It doesn't matter if they get a little bit mixed up, hopefully. Let's see. Let's put together what we can here. This way. This. And then like that. And then this here. Into it nicely. Wonder, hopefully. And then there. And I've got some construction here to do. J's again. Yep. 16 and 17. These. A bit of T. Isn't it way down there? And that's it for J. The power on my bed is not needed at all. This here, over here. So, yeah, I can get straight. This in. Goes just above that notch there. Either which way. No. It does not seem to matter which way, just as long as it's facing relatively that direction. And as for this, I'll leave this way. Wait, let me flat that. Yeah. That's the only way it can go on. They come. Went on soundlessly. I guess there's no click here. Guess this is supposed to slide freely so that it can extend. Tilt. Does matter which side. I'm extending. Do it wrong. There we go. Oops. Wait, is that on properly? Kinda looks like it is and kinda not. If it was supposed to go to here. It doesn't make much sense. Not this way. And then back like that. And see where it attaches. It attaches. Attach around here. I thought that was the attachment. Wait. Go. Any sense? I mix them up and probably mix them up. It's supposed to be like this. Well, the circular thing isn't the attachment point. This is. Okay, and it shows the different holding hands here, like B10. That's the right arm. I want to put the rifle in it. I would want to. Which side is the one that I screwed up? Not that it really matters all that much. No. So this attaches onto the back there over the cover. Yes. It's supposed to snap in though. And then put it over the covers. It goes into it. Not terribly secure, I have to say, but it does work. Oops. And that's going to easily pop up every time. On the plus side, they made it able to attach on either arm if you wanted to. On the negative side, so maybe that's not even. It's not a terribly secure connection. Well, I don't think I'm getting it in both sides. Maybe I'm not. There we go. That's definitely more secure though. Maybe that was the issue. Well, it's very secure now. And definitely hold it very securely now. Part that I'm most curious about are these. So, pardon me. If I wanted to use them, it would go on. It's supposed to be where the peg is facing. I'll try it on this arm since there's nothing on it right now. And on. Maybe it should be going on this way. It looks like it should actually go into the slot there. Yeah, it does that. Goes right into double O style slot. You don't need it under. I don't think. Well, it could. Which way does it show it facing? And facing out. That makes sense. It's supposed to be like that. And then you can put the missile pods on there. Or they can hold them, whatever you want. I'm not going to put everything in the hand at the moment, because if I do review, I'm going to have to take things out too. No, I'm probably going to have to do that anyway, but especially for the transformation. But that is Arios. I think it's completely built. Let's see if there's anything additional to hands, perhaps. I don't think so. It just says the transformation. And for the transformation, it says push and lock it in place when reverting the transformation. And from the side. I think that's the clavicle antenna going down. Thread the antenna through the groove. That's to get the cockpit up. And those would be turned. Yes. The arms. You would want them to rotate this way. Oh, that makes sense anyway, because you're turning them that way. And it drops down the hips. I don't know why it drops down the hips. And these fibers of reference and adjust the angles of the arm. It's supposed to tab in. Oh, the tabs are in the shoulders. That's what those are. These things, they're supposed to tab in to the cockpit. I wondered what they were for. The arms is tabbing from the other side. The arms are supposed to do that. And that way, rotate while avoiding the sabers. So the legs would get pivoted out. Legs would go out like that. Okay, the wing part was something that I had a question about. First, you're supposed to pull out, and you're supposed to hear a snap. There we go. And down. Does it snap back in place? No. But it does feel solid coming down. That feels solid coming in too. As for the shield during the transformation, I guess it just attaches there. And is it attached to one of those points then? A rifle like that. 835. That's one point I would consider to be very important. There's only the one adapter for action bases. And I believe what it showed before is that You can't actually put it on without taking the back off. And it's off to get a clear view. I'm definitely getting the sense that it doesn't go on by taking the back. See if I can get that out of the way. Not on all the way. If that goes back on. That was correct. The action base adapter can only go on, that off. Otherwise, you're kind of bummed. Interesting though. And then what else do you have left? You've got on the B runner, one claw from the dynamis holding part. You've got the hands that you will use. These are for the shoulders of the dynamis. Let's see. Only parts here that I didn't use were the clear covers there and there. We've got knee part, another claw part from the dynamis. Those are for, I think, the hatch. Knees. Chest part. Similarly here. And leg parts and hand cover back. And then, of course, here are the beam saber blades. I still haven't cut out. Let's cut these out, and then also cut out the hands. But these parts aren't going to be used anywhere. I'm not sure if I should keep them either, because they only go onto similar frame. I could. Not sure what I would actually do with them. I'm going to keep them. I don't need the runner. Could do this after. Necessarily have to waste your time cutting them off. We'll finish that afterwards. But I do need hands. Here. So we've got left and right trigger finger hands, and left and right beam saber holding hands. One difference these have with the Axia in its variants is that, well, this exactly. It's that these ones use the swappy finger hands, which I think are good because them being in fixed pose means that there's less that can go wrong with it. However, Exia has the 3-1 thumb articulated fingers, which you could chop apart if you wanted to, according to review. But having that many moving fingers means also that they can come out. And I am not a great enjoyer of that, because then you have to hunt down the fingers. And that sometimes isn't all that fun, I will admit. Let's see. These are all extra parts. I wanted to go to review. Like I probably should. Then I will have to clear stuff away and change my camera angle. I will be back after doing so. And these to the side. In the hands and the pilot, because those are included parts as well. So give me a minute or two, I will change over my screen. that on. Okay, that's a bit better. Yes, when my phone did what it was doing, it kind of pitched me out. Oh, yeah. These are also kind of included. Oh, may as well put them on the screen. Where is the... There we go. And it's up a bit. Tilted in certain way. Anyway, so here is the Master Grade 1/100 scale Kyrios Gundam in all of its glory, with everything that comes included in the kit, minus a few things because they're extras. As per for the extras, you get 2 sets of these extra from the Dynamis. Also 2 sets of these extra joints also from the Dynamis, including these and other joints that you don't use here. And more optional than extra, because I skipped using these clear parts on the Kyrios, but because you have the clear green pieces that come on this side, that's not such a big deal. I have no music here. Here we go. Also, if this is from my clips, welcome. This is the review part of video for the Master Grade MG-1/100 scale Gundam Kyrios from Mobile Suit Gundam 00, the first season. And it was quite a good build, I feel. And even though I had issues with it, I think those are more... Some of them were my fault, some of them probably were quality issues and that the QC teams should have caught, but obviously did not. But in any case, this is the kit as it is completed, and I think that it looks very nice, and it has quite a few nice features to it that you would not necessarily find in other places. I had one last thing there that I almost forgot was in there, and let's make sure I had those there. I want to make sure that I have everything for this review. I was looking last at the transformation after the build to make sure that I had everything. Of course, I don't have everything from the markings on it. I didn't put any markings on in game, but otherwise, this is the way that it is. So now that you've seen what it looks like, I don't want it to fall over though. Let's take a look at the, well, first of all, before articulations, I should say about stickers. So this is the color correcting sticker sheet. You get the eyes for there. There is a large silver sticker that goes into the forehead, and it is the one part that really doesn't seem to mesh with the rest of the kit, it being a master grade of very high quality. you get a black sticker that is supposed to go into the back of the head, the rear head sensor. I skipped that, of course, because I didn't want to block it. But the 00 models tend to have that kind of thing. Next, we got 2 silver stickers with some markings on them, and they go, if I can move this out of the way, I guess not, so I'll just remove it. They go underneath here. So when the light reflects off correctly, you can kind of see the circle markings, and it's also silver, so it reflects the light better. You do have the option, again, I should point out, to use the clear plastic pieces from the A runner underneath the green pieces. It is possible that adds more depth, but the options are always, of course, there. And the last small green sticker is for the sight in the gun, which is similar to the ones found on the Dynamis's pistols. That would like to focus up. There we go. And it also looks very nice. Next, for articulation. So the head can look up that far, which is pretty nice, and look down until the goatee disappears into the chest. That, and tilt side to side pretty naturally. And it does have the neck joint from the Dynamis as well, where it faces forwards like that. And of course it can go around if you get the clavicle antennae out of the way. And of course those can go up and down. And the fin on the back can go up that far and down that far for the transformation. Next, you have the shoulders. And I can grip this properly. They can go out this far in order to give you more range, but if they are all the way in together, they can go forward this far, back this far, up, all the way for the transformation. And these are slightly independent. I don't move all that much. There's a lot in this for the transformation itself, I should say. And like I said, they come out and go forward that far, back that far, up and down slightly. I should actually go to the arms first. So that's the shoulder alone moving. And then here is the arm. Go up that far. It has the rotation here. And whoops, I wasn't expecting that to come free at this juncture. But it can bend that far. And then there's an additional wristband because it's a 00 suit. It goes that far. And then the wrist itself has flexion and extension. The thumb is on a ball joint, so it can do what a thumb do. And then the fingers are the swappable type. Returning to the torso and the chest, these open up to allow you to get to the hatch. And I should also mention that inside is hollow. It has space for 2 LED units although they are not included with the model. On the back of the model, you will have noticed that there are two orange fins. They are on ball joints, so they can go all around and tilt slightly. On the back, you have the shuttlecock cone, which has antennae which are somewhat loose, but they can extend and go back in. This tail bit goes up and down. And the claws on the GN drive can extend out to allow this to come out a bit, so that if you had the LED unit inside, that would light up. If you wanted to remove the drive entirely, you would just continue pulling that out. And in order to secure this, there is a tab and a notch in here, and it secures very nicely, and that won't move anywhere. As far as the waist goes, you have a bit of the Dynamus's unit in there, although not all the way. So if I strip the waist, it can go forward that much, back that much, and of course it's got all this kitty on the back, preventing it from doing more. Tilting side. I don't quite know where to hold on to this in order to demonstrate correctly. To side. It does have the chest rotation as well, so you're seeing this come off center a bit because of that rotation. So now the chest here, the middle torso portion, is off center from the actual centers. So he can do some pretty good leaning poses as well because of that. And of course, it has rotation at the waist. You pretty much go all the way around, although it can be a bit blocked by its own skirting. Speaking of which, it has front skirt and side skirt only, or back skirt only. Both of these have tabs and notches or holes in order to lock them in place if you don't want them to move around. And this can wait. So right now this side is tabbed in and secure, and that one definitely is not, as it fell right out. As you can see, it is a small ball joint on a hinge, which would also give it rotation apart from the movement. Get that in. And you can also see that there are a lot of places where gray parts from the frame will peek through, which is also nice. What isn't nice is that this keeps on coming off. And it's one of the common weaknesses of such small joints. But it can come out over and over and over again. And it's supposed to rotate out and come up. So it would be nice if it did it without coming off of the model. I think that's on. Can't be sure, but it can come up that far where it collides and rotate out to make room for the leg. The leg itself, and I should actually raise up the hips. I can do that after. There is the gimmick to lower the hips to give it more range of motion. With that, it can go all the way up until the fin nearly collides. And let's get the arm out of the way. The splits is no problem, as you can see. And it can go back until it collides with the butt flap. However, the butt flaps, while they also have the similar locking mechanism so that it does not move when you don't want it to move, such as when it's in its flight mode, when it unlocks, it can move quite far. Right back. Whatever you want on that kind of ball joint. Which also means that when you move it back, the leg can also go back pretty much all the way. So that is, of course, with the waist unit dropped down. If you have it all the way up into the unit, then you start getting blocked by that. The part where the front skirt comes on, so it can still come up this far and back pretty much all the way. So the drop down is good for if you want to kick forward, basically. Further down the leg, you have part of the transformation gimmick in the wing. The knee bends in 3 places, I believe. Let's raise this up more so you can get a better look at that bend, which goes all the way, effectively turning this into a sword rather than just a wing. And it's really nice. It bends up here, down here, and also here, I believe. And the part with the fin, where it has 2 joints, is nice and floating. This doesn't move at all. And then down there. Down at the ankle, you have a bit of floating armor here, which can go backwards and forwards like that. Doesn't move otherwise. This moves up and down in order to provide stability for the foot when it's in mobile suit mode. And of course, the toe on this can come down for the transformation. Also go up that far if you move that armor out of the way. So that's rather nice. Additional gimmicks in the suit. Most of them are for the transformation itself, including a pair of tabs up in the shoulders for securing into the flight mode, which I will show you later. Of course, you saw the hatches and the antennae before. What else to show? And of course, you've got those nice holographic color slides there. One thing that I didn't show was that with the thrusters, if you press down on there, they can extend just like with the Dynamis. And I think that covers pretty much everything on there. So we can go on to the accessories, some of which it has on it. So as for hands, we have the fist and an open hand on here. So you've seen that. They have it for both sides. They also have a pair of beam saber holding hands and trigger finger hands for left and right. So those, of course, are always useful. Also on the suit, you have mounted to the back skirts a pair of beam saber blades, and you can rotate them out so that you can give him a pose as though he's reaching for them. And hopefully this will come out. Yep. I was hoping for that not to come out with it. But let me set this aside. It's extremely secure there. So you can plunk one of the beam saber blades into here. And then I will get one of the holding hands. And just like with the Dynamis, because this is exactly the same thing, you just put it into the slot. Remove a set of fingers that you don't want to use. And then I'll move the thumb out of the way, perhaps. And slot this in upside down. I don't think it is. I was almost certain it was upside down, though. Whoops. See, that's what I don't like about the ball-jointed fingers. It's very easy for them to come out. And it might be just as easy to pop them back in, assuming you can face them the right way. But on the other hand, you have to find them first. And then but I would by far prefer to have to find one digit than three, with the 1-3 fingers or with completely opposable fingers, but that's it, holding the beam saber in the hand. As well as you can see, it does have mounting points for use on the arms, which can be used in both modes, I believe. And the weapons that it uses with are the wrist-mounted missile launchers. As well, I believe it can be used with the GN machine gun, submachine gun, as it has this port to mount it on. And principally that is for the transformation, but it can go on like that as well if you really wanted to. And of course, the other thing you can do with the weapons is to put them into the hands yourself. To do that, you need the grips, of which there are 2 included. And you would mount them. And I don't actually know if this is frontwise or backwise. I'm just trying to put it in. Oh, that is correct. So it goes like that. And find a trigger finger hand. And that is for not that side, I think. There's a slot low down on the grip. I had to check to see where it was. Is that in? It doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere. And that might be in. Take off the fingers on this hand. And put in that. And now it is holding its primary weapon as well. The weapon does have a gimmick where it is supposed to pop up the sight, but mine isn't working properly. You're supposed to be able to push the button here, and it would pop this up. I can do it by hand. It's supposed to pop that up, and then when you want to pop it away, it presses down like that. And for me, it's not doing it quite enough, although it does move a bit. And part of that hand just fell apart, didn't it? This is for the back. Although I did pull a mistake with its hand. Yikes. It all came off. I don't want that joining together. But I will fix that, I think, later. Although I also don't want to be losing any parts. Where did the thumb go is a question that I didn't know I would be asking today. There's the hand backing. And it went again. I may have to glue the hand backing on. If it's not going to stay, I need to track down the thumb though. Ah, here it is. And I can try to pop it back in. Let's give it another holding hand for now, because there is the transformation to cover as well. After I've done the rest of the accessories, I covered both all of the hands, the grips, the beam sabers. Ah yes, the shield. A rather large shield at that. Large, very stylistic. It does have these two mountings to it, and it mounts securely to the back of the arm where you have the cover there on both tabs, as you can see. So it has to go on both sides, and if the cover covers both, then you won't be able to get it on that securely. The shield itself does have several gimmicks, one of which is to extend like that, and then open up if it would like to stay on, and turn like that, so it can crush some things. And if you take the blade here, it can go in like this, and the blade can even be used when it's in its closed position. There's also a point of articulation for the pincers on this side, so that it can curve around slightly. It's a rather crazy weapon, but given the pilot and his nature, it fits. And it does have tabs to keep the shield bits together, when it's supposed to act as a shield. Now that is the shield. I did cover the stickers. I should also cover the markings. There is one that can go into the chest piece, as well as a whole bunch of other markings for the entire model. I haven't used any of them, and I don't generally tend to. And of course, as included with all of the models, there is a minifigure which you can paint, if you so desire. Now, for the transformation, which is actually pretty simple, I should first take out the saber hand. And I find the other holding, right, it does have the holding hand. I don't really need to give it a hand during this, but I feel like it's more proper. And the transformation is rather simple. First, put him back into a more neutral position. The most difficult of which, in my opinion, is the lining up the fin on his head with the shuttlecock part. So you would, if they were up, put down the clavicle antennae first. You can push this down to give you better range on this. That would come down. Try to line it up, or do whatever you have to in order to line it up with pull. It did when it came forward. And then that will come up in front of its head. Next, you can rotate both arms so that the holograms are pointed out and these ports are pointed down. That way, if you want to mount any of the weapons on, which you probably should, you can mount them facing down underneath the belly. Where did the other side script go? There it is. I don't know if it'll stay on. That's one thing that would get in the way of it staying on. And even though I put it back on, it still went all the way up. So with the arms out, although you could do this first as well, and the head tucked in, you can rotate the shoulders up. Although you should, and there goes that again. Before you do that, get the tabs out of the tops of the shoulders. There we go. Because those are going to tab directly into the sides there. So hold those in place securely. And hopefully that's centered as well. Bring those down. And I want to orient the hands to the side. Although this one is falling apart again. Yeah. We will set that aside. Yeesh. So arms can come in, excusing the parts that are falling off. Rotate the legs so that the thrusters are facing back, and yes, it looks quite silly. You're supposed to spread the legs slightly, kind of like that. And I'm going to try to grip this firmly, pull the fin out, and it should give a snapping sound, and then rotate it down. That. I'm going to do the same over here. And then when it comes down, it should snap secure. And the feet point down, just like that. This is a part where you can tab in the skirting so that it is secure and does not go anywhere. I wish that would be true of the ball joint as well. But as you know, it doesn't want to stay on. Maybe a part on top would have done. And for the sake of armament, take the handle off of the rifle and stick that there, and take one of the missile launchers and stick that there. Now, we've been looking at this whole thing, and it does look pretty ridiculous from the bottom. If we go to this side, well, then it looks slightly less ridiculous. Although it isn't aligned properly, at least the legs aren't. Now, if I pull that out a bit, might be just the waist, though. I'm going to lock in the side skirt, and I can't see where it goes. And there goes the front skirt again. But that is basically it. That is basically the transformation into its winged form. It's quite long, as you can see. In order to have it in frame, I have to hold it back quite a bit, and I don't have an action base on hand in order to display it on it. And again, you can press on these to have the verniers pop out. If it was absolutely straight everywhere, it would look pretty good. And even from the side, it doesn't look too bad. It's just that I don't have the ability to align it completely properly. But I think that looks pretty good. And it is one of the transformations which I can see working. And as well, it is a transformation that is armed. So it's pretty good. But I'm not going to leave it like that, because that's a significant amount of shelf real estate that it would be taking up. So I will transform it back. Oh, I have to undo the tabs before I can do like that. And he would pitch forward a bit. Tabs can go back in. Arms. It really is just a quick reconfiguration. And then he can almost fight almost straight away. That's not secure. Up and in. It feels better. In. Not do the same thing? I guess not, but it still works. Legs. I'm kind of leery of that it might break. And feet. It's up a bit. Otherwise, the bottom of the feet won't become straight enough for him to stand. Although I'm guessing he would be more in aerial poses than standing. Apart from the hand issues I've had from my mistake, he does look very good, even just like this. Let's get some comparisons going. As well, I can try and put his shield back on. Oh, I forgot that the shield also goes on in his transformed form. The only difference is that part of it is split to fit on the wing, but that's basically it. But let's see if I can get him standing up so I can get that comparison for you. Just like with anything else, getting a model to stand can be a bit tricky. But maybe get him centered on his legs. He does have the shield on one side, but that shouldn't really affect that much, I would think. Just trying to get him into a stance, although probably should test it on something that's flat and where there aren't any wires. Come on. Maybe if I bring this up, it will counterbalance a bit. Huh. It does. So let's bring in some things to compare height-wise. Down. First up, rather naturally, let's go with the Master Grade Dynamis. That way we can test whether or not he really is the taller. And he is, but only by a bit. Not nearly as much as I would have figured. But at the same time, they really do look good together. Agreed. Whoops. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Hopefully I can get him standing back up relatively quickly. Nothing else came off. There we go. I'll just put that back because I'm not. And next to a Plamo Eevee. Next to a 30-minute mission. If it would stand. It was standing before. Maybe it's just the surface of the laptop. That's a little bit too much slidiness. Well, an Android. A standard-sized SD. And a cross silhouette SD. COPPA. And how about Frame Arms Girl's Sylphie, the smallest Frame Arms Girl? More direct sided. A Megami device, the Project Melody Custom. And before I've been going overboard, the Nekobuso Tenkomori, also by Bandai, by the way. The question most likely to be faced in this whole thing is, would I recommend this kit? Despite all the problems that I've had with it, I would say yes. I would recommend it. And you can learn from my mistakes in the building because I tracked the whole thing. So that you don't make the mistakes that I did, and you'll be spared from the issues that I had with this model. Because, let's be honest, it looks great. It's a fun build, apart from the issues that I had. And it does quite a lot when it's allowed to do what it's supposed to do. And when it stands up properly. Forward. It is a great looking kit. It's very solid. Despite falling down like that, it doesn't take damage. It is annoying that it keeps on falling down. I could get it. It looks like its feet are solidly on the ground and whatever. In any case, a very solid kit. It's a nice build. I did have some issues, but you can learn from my mistakes so that you avoid having those issues and have a great build as well. I would like to be able to eventually squad up with all 4 of the Celestial Being suits, but I don't want to have the old Master Grade Exia, it being what it is. But I would definitely recommend the Master Grade Kyrios to stand beside the Master Grade Dynamis, because it is a great looking kit. It does complement it quite nicely. You have the orange and white together with green and white. So they definitely have their own unique looks. The silhouette is absolutely distinctive as well. And its armaments are unique as well to just it. Just like the other kits in the line are unique to them. I would definitely recommend the MG Kyrios as well as the Dynamis. But do watch out for the kinds of issues that I had so that you can avoid them. I am looking forward to the Master Grade Virtue when it comes out, and I still hope for a Master Grade Exia 2.0 eventually. So, yeah, definitely still going to recommend this. I do hope that you enjoyed the build as well as the review. Despite all of my issues, I still quite like this. Now let's put the things that are most recognizable back up on here. And for scale, the minifig. So I think that'll about do it for both this stream, the video, and the review. I do hope you enjoyed it, found it informative, useful, entertaining, especially my flops. If it's going to happen to someone, it should happen to me, right? So thank you all for watching. Until the next stream, video, or whatever, please do stay safe, stay healthy, and remember to be excellent to one another. If you liked what you saw, you can, of course, comment below what you thought, like, comment, and subscribe and ring that bell if you like. You get notifications. If you're watching me on YouTube. If you're watching me on Twitch, you can drop me a follow. I would greatly appreciate it, and you will get notifications when I go live. And you can follow me on Twitter. Occasionally I do tweet stuff out, which is always something that may be found to be useful. So yeah, let's go raid somebody. While I leave that spinning for you. Did Bunny just start? Because she only has 30 people watching. Otherwise, I would raid Ruby. So let's raid Bunny. So thanks again for watching. Until the next stream, video, or whatever, please do stay safe, stay healthy, and be excellent to one another. Bye-bye.